Pioneer DJ DDJ-200 review. I'm DJ Spiegel Spin, and in this video, I'm going to show you guys everything you need to know about this controller. So the Pioneer DDJ-200 was one of the first controllers to be released as a Bluetooth DJ controller, and a lot of other controllers have came out with that are Bluetooth controllers. So quickly, I want to explain what the difference is. A Bluetooth controller means that you do not need to physically connect it with a wire from your iPad or your laptop or whatever, or your phone into the controller, that you can connect through Bluetooth. So I use the DJ software Djay Pro AI, but this controller is made for other DJ softwares as well, such as DJuice, Serato, Rekordbox, and all the other virtual DJ and all the other popular DJ softwares. So the one thing that threw me off, and the reason why I don't actually own this controller, is when I went to the music store and I went with all intentions to purchase it, and they let me do a demo. So I set up the controller, I had my iPad with me, and then I went to connect it to Bluetooth using the regular Bluetooth on my iPad. I went to my settings and then tried to connect it, and I couldn't find the device, and I'm like, oh, this doesn't work. But what you have to do is you go over here in the middle button, and now this is with Djay Pro. The other softwares will have their own section, and then we go to settings, and now we go to MIDI devices, and then we type Bluetooth, and then we click on Bluetooth MIDI devices, and then you will see the controller there. So you don't connect it through your regular device's Bluetooth, you have to connect it through the DJ software. And now another thing that is going to be a drawback is that with the Bluetooth, there is no way to connect your headphones. So you are going to be playing the audio out of your iPad. Now, this used to be fine when the iPads had actual headphone jacks, so you could use the headphone jack to get the music output out, and then even if you wanted to, you could use a adapter that'll split the output, so you could use your headphones and have a main output with just one adapter. Now they only have one connection, which is USB-C. So you could get you could get an adapter to plug into the USB-C and then use an audio cable, but then you're not going to be able to charge the iPad. So you're going to have to get a more expensive one that charges the iPad and will let you get the audio out. And then if you want to use headphones, you're going to be having two adapters. One adapter to have an audio cable, and then another adapter to split the headphones. And like I say in a lot of my videos, the more adapters that you have plugged in, the less reliable your connection is going to be. So let's with Djay Pro AI, real quick, if you want to see which controllers are compatible with the app, you go over here to MIDI devices, and then you go over here to supported. And then if you don't see it in the recommended, don't worry. You just go to view all supported DJ controllers, and it'll bring you to here. You scroll all the way down, and then we go over here to Pioneer, and then you'll see Pioneer DDJ-200, and then there'll be a link to buy it. If you want to do specific for the device that you're on, iOS, then we know over here, this controller is compatible. So if you're a Djay Pro AI user, just simply check this page before you go purchase the controller to avoid any type of frustration. So let's get into the controller. Like I said, I don't own this controller, but we will look at it on Amazon. And currently on Amazon, it is sold out. So you could, let's see the buying options. You could buy a used one for $162, or you could buy a new one at this moment from this link for $179 plus $19 shipping, which is quite expensive. It is like almost double the price of that controller, which is the Numark iDJ2 Touch. Now, this controller is a step up in terms of size than that controller. This is a strip style mini controller, and the DDJ-200 it's not a strip, it's not a full size controller, it's kind of in the middle of the Numark DJ2 Touch and like the Pioneer DDJ-400 or the 400 Flex. So let's see what features that we get. You get you get 8 of these pads down here. Where did we go? You get 8 pads down here, which is good. On these smaller controllers, we only get 4. And then one of the biggest steps up from this controller to one of these is these volume faders. So if you are a hip-hop DJ, if you are a EDM DJ, then you're going to be used to using volume sliders to to mix the volume and change the volume, cut stuff in, cut stuff out. And then this is good practice for when you move up to bigger controllers and then even CDJs, because no CDJs or no big professional controller that you're going to use at gigs or clubs or festivals, they're all going to have volume faders. So it's a good idea to get used to using and get used to mixing with these volume faders. Now, next is going to be this 4-band EQ, which on these strip controllers, there is no EQ knobs, no bass knobs, no filters, except for some of the Hercules ones. They'll give you like 1 knob, but you want to get used to mixing with a mixer, with a 3 or 4 band EQ mixer. Get used to using the knobs, turning both sides knobs at the same time, dropping in the bass, turning the bass off, and then blending your songs together using a mixer. So this one is a great controller if you want to get practice mixing with an actual mixer. And then down here they give you it says CFX. You could use that as a filter, you could use it as an effect knob, and it is a really cool that they put 4 bands into this controller. Now, the next thing that makes this controller a little bit unique is, if you can see down here, it's transition effects. So that's like an echo out, a reverb out. It's a effect that you're going to use to do a transition. And with DJ Pro AI, if we go back to the app and we go to our effects, they give us a lot of transition effects. So they have echo out, echo verb out, reverb out. They have all of these effects. So you could set these effects into the controller, into that button, and just simply do a really quick transition that way. Now, next, they are going to have some controllers are mirrored and some are not. So this controller, as you see, on deck 2, on the bottom right side, we see the tempo slider. Now, on the left side, the bottom left, it's not the tempo slider. So what they made this controller emulate is having 2 identical CDJs, or I think they're called media players now, because you could use USB, but 2 separate players and a mixer, which is the standard club style and festival style setup. So this gets you used to having the controls the same, similar, much smaller, but similar to how it would be with having those expensive media players. So the tempo slider is quite large compared to other controllers like that Reloop Buddy that I have. So this controller is great for getting used to doing manual beat matches, manually changing the BPM and mixing in a way without using the sync button, opposed to this one where, although there is BPM sliders, that they're really small, and this controller, you're mainly going to use sync when you're mixing. So speaking of sync, the sync button on this controller is, I'm not sure. So the beat sync is right here. So this button here is the beat sync. And then this controller also has a shift button. So if you press the shift button and then the beat sync button, you could adjust the tempo range. So you could adjust it from 8% to higher percentage. So you could do larger BPM transitions. Now, it has a nice Q button, which is similar to the ones on CDJs. We got Q and we got play. We have jog wheels, which I've used this controller before. The jog wheels feel really good. They are kind of plasticky feeling, but if you want to practice scratching, if you want to do manual beat matching, then you can. And then the top of it is going to be scratching, and the side of it is going to be to nudge the track. Now, overall, this controller is alright, but with the new controllers like the DDJ-400 Flex and even the Reloop Buddy and the Mix Track Platinum Effects, I think this controller is kind of outdated, and I personally wouldn't recommend it for using it with DJ Pro AI if you're looking to get a new controller. Of course, if you find one used or if you have one laying around, it is still going to help you practice. You could do gigs with it, and it is not a terrible product. But at the moment, I don't recommend using Bluetooth controllers when you're DJing with the iPad because of the dilemma with the adapters and the lack of a headphone jack. So if you guys like learning about all of the iPad DJ controllers, learning all the stuff you could do with DJ Pro AI and the future of DJing, subscribe to this channel and give this video a like. Thank you.